Hi there and welcome to this video, which is all about why quiet is so important for healing and thriving as a highly sensitive and neurodivergent person. If you're brand new, my name is Nicola. I'm a yoga teacher, a yoga therapist, and I'm also highly sensitive and neurodivergent myself. And I like to create content that supports others find more calm, balance and connection through things such as yoga, mindfulness and other self-care themes. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, feel free to subscribe and like this video, and when you're ready we'll get stuck into today's content. So this theme really came about through my reflections on how I work with my one-to-one clients, and most likely they are usually highly sensitive and or neurodivergent women who are often doing all the things for all the people, really wanting to be seen as doing the right thing, very conscientious, maybe a little bit in that good girl role. And they're burnt out, they are tired, they are wired, they're probably having difficulty sleeping, they are struggling with their digestion, they feel like they've lost themselves, maybe they're anxious, maybe they're depressed, maybe they're a whole package of all of the above and a bit more as well. And as we start to work together, we talk about different strategies that will help. And I think one of the things that comes up is that a lot of the healing stuff, so a lot of the practices that I might suggest, or the classes they take or the therapy that they get involved in, is all really well and good, and of course all of these things really are important for supporting healing and growth and all the rest of it. But one of the things I've become really aware of, not just in my clients but also in my own personal healing journey, is the need for quiet. And I think it really needs to be spoken about. So first of all, we all need quiet. Whatever your brain or however your brain is wired, we all need quiet. It's really important. It's, when we integrate and kind of sort the wheat from the chaff, if you like. But if you are highly sensitive and or neurodivergent in some other way, our neurology, our wiring is different. We often have greater connections. We often have heightened senses, and we're taking in more sensory information. And so just on a purely physiological level, quiet offers us that time to integrate all the stuff that's coming in, the depth of processing that is going on, and not leave us depleted. Because when we are trying to continue doing all of the things, our brains are still trying to process everything and sort it all out, and that is draining. It's like, on a computer when you've got several programs open at once, and the operating system is like whirring because it's doing a lot of stuff. It's a bit like that. If we shut down some of the tabs, close down some of the software, and we let the most important thing, or the big thing we've been working on, run in the background, and the rest of us is just quiet, then it frees up energy, doesn't it, rather than using it all up. So that's the first thing, is that we just need more quiet time anyway, just to integrate everything, just because of how we're wired. So the second thing is that if you are going on a healing journey, whether that is you've got a physical injury and you're healing, or you are you're deep in therapy, perhaps you're processing some early trauma, or perhaps you are just in a transition point in your life, and so you're processing some difficult emotions, that takes integration time. Again, this is for everybody. However you're wired, you need greater time to integrate. You need time to feel the feelings. If you're going through some emotional healing, you actually have to have time to feel those feelings and allow them to move through your body, and that simply takes time. And like the previous point, if we've got lots and lots of things going on, it can really halt that process, or it can hinder that process. It can not allow it to happen fully, and it can drain us. It's the same thing with multitasking. We never get everything done to the same standard as if we were just allowed time to focus on one thing. Now, of course, like the previous point, if you are neurodivergent in some way or extra sensitive, it will take longer, and that's okay. There's greater neural connections. There's a lot more firing off going on in our brains and in our nervous system. So of course it's going to take longer. There's a few more pathways to move through. But, and here's the positive point to that, when a neurodivergent, highly sensitive person undertakes some form of healing, we are much more likely to embed that into us rather than kind of forget the lessons. Because of our increased wiring and firing, the learning process is much more likely to happen. So that's a positive, but just keeping in mind that it does take extra time. And so quiet time is, again, another time that can happen. Okay, so my third point as to why finding quiet time is really important if you're looking to heal and thrive as a highly sensitive neurodivergent person is that it's really likely that just through being extra sensitive to what's around you, that it's more easy for you to get pulled away from your centre. And what I mean by your centre is your needs, your feelings, your aspirations, your preferences, likes, desires, etc. This is going to be even more the case if you have some kind of early trauma, or if you have patterns within you that lend themselves to that kind of behaviour. So if you are prone to people pleasing, if you are really deeply empathic and really struggle to prioritise your feelings above others, if you are very well rehearsed at masking your true self, then it's going to be a challenge to keep really centred. And it is a practice, and so you can help yourself massively by making sure you have plenty of time where there is quiet, where there is no noise. And I don't necessarily, again, just mean actual noise, although often it is, but I mean any kind of busyness that is going to pull you away from what's going on with you. Of course, this is a practice, and if you are deeply in your healing journey, then you know there's going to be moments where you do get pulled off centre, but it's that awareness that quiet time is so important for you, and to schedule it in, and also to just notice, oh, I've been pulled off again, or I've let life get carried away and I've forgotten that I need that time. So being able to establish quiet time needs boundaries, which, you know, if you're thinking, oh, it's that B word again, yes, it is. If you are somebody that's really struggling with boundaries at this point in time, take heart that I myself really struggled with boundaries. Like, I just didn't even think it was possible. I really didn't think it was possible, but I now have very healthy boundaries, I think, mostly. It's still a practice, but I'm much more able to say no. So just be gentle with yourself. If you're thinking there's no way, start small. So that's the first one, is boundaries are going to help you to find that quiet time. It can be as simple as saying, okay, on a Friday morning, I pencil out X amount of time and I don't want to be disturbed by anybody, and you tell those people, that whoever's around you, this is a no, I'm not available time, for example. The second thing is to really be honest with yourself about your capacity during this time. If you are deeply in healing for whatever, if you're grieving, if you've just undertaken talk therapy, if some kind of realization has occurred to you and that's opened a bit of a door, if you're going through a life transition, then just be really honest with yourself about your capacity at this time, because through our life's journey, our energy levels are going to fluctuate anyway, and of course we'll be more sensitive to those fluctuations. So yeah, just kind of have a little chat with yourself about that. And again, if you are deep in healing, or you know, undertaking any of that kind of personal growth work, you might need to adjust your expectations. You might not be able to, you know, see as many people or get as many things done, and that's okay, because this period of time is you're doing some deep work, so it makes sense. And on that, one of the things that I found particularly beneficial as I began my deep healing work was to really embrace slow living, which it's a real movement. There's lots of different interpretations of slow living, but one of the ways I practice that is through living according to the seasons and, you know, in line with nature and what nature is teaching us and encouraging us to do, rather than going at the same mad productive pace all the time. It's just slowing down, which then affords you time. I'm not saying any of this is easy, and to a certain degree it's a little bit of a rebellion because the modern world is in contradiction with a lot of what I'm saying, but if we embrace it and we start to integrate it into our lives, then it makes it more possible. And it also gives permission for others to do something similar. We can start a bit of a ripple effect. So I'm going to end it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share any of your thoughts about this in the comments below. I really enjoyed listening to them. If you've liked this video, of course, give us a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Consider subscribing if you're interested in this kind of content. If you are looking for some quiet time, then I have lots of free little yoga sequences that might allow you just a little bit of a movement pause, but it will give you that kind of mind break. And if you're looking for a bit more support personally, you are welcome to get in touch and inquire about one-to-one yoga therapy with me. I also have a seasonal membership which can offer you that kind of on-demand support at home. All right, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a lovely rest of the month, and yeah, take care for now.